welcome back to another review from you boys of the Buffalo Happy Hour. My name is Derek, and today we are doing day 8 of the Flavier Advent Whiskey Calendar. If you are new here, please check out the last 7 that we did. We went through quite a bit of different products, ranging from Scotland to Japan to Kentucky and the sorts. So today, I have no idea what we're going to review. We're going to take it, again, the same vein where I taste test it first, try to guess kind of whereabouts it is, other than knowing what's on the back of the box with where the flight is going to, because this is a luggage, nailed it. The flight is going to, it gives you an airport code, and then the name of the distillery. So obviously if it tells me that the name of the whiskey is a Kentucky bourbon, then I'm going to know it's Kentucky. But we will try to figure it out together. So let's peel this one back. The airport code for this one is RNO. Not sure where that is. We will find out together. RNO. Baggage 2. Does it say anything here? Crush it. Nope. This could be fun if it doesn't tell me at all where it's coming from. All right, the back of the box is RNO, Frey Ranch Bottled-In-Bond Straight Rye. Okay, so it did give us that it's a straight rye whiskey. The only thing that we can get out of this name, actually we can get a lot out of this. So if you are new to the channel, we do a whiskey education as well. And what we can get from here is that R&D, I'm not sure where, or RNO, I'm not sure where RNO Airport is. Frey Ranch, I would assume it's probably Midwest or maybe Arizona, Nevada, Montana, like that type of region, because just a ranch just associated with the countryside. Maybe Texas. I have no idea where it is. Bottled in bond means that it has to be all distilled in 1 year, aged in the same controlled warehouse, rickhouse for exactly 4 years, and it has to be bottled at 100 proof. So pretty distinct there. And then it being a straight rye, you can assume that it has to be at least 2 years. With it being bottled in bond, you know that it's a 4 year, but a rye then means it has to be at least 51% rye. So let's pour this in here. I already used the water, got ahead of the game. I'm learning. Let's pour this in here and give it a little nose. A nosers. Saving some of this for Miguel, my fitness consigliere, Miguel. Let's get into it. Color's pretty dark. So this makes me believe it's more of a, not Kentucky, I would assume, right off the bat, because dark normally would mean, especially for a 4-year product, that it had more interaction with the wood, which I associate with a higher climate. So maybe like more of a Texas. I don't know what airport would be RNO, though. Anyway. So with ryes, especially ryes that aren't 95.5. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's not a 95.5. With ryes, you generally get 3 categories of a straight rye, or a rye whiskey in general. You either have those crazy people like me that love the 95.5, where it's 95% rye whiskey, 5% either malted barley or malted rye. You get something in between where it's like a 70% rye. Those are, I feel like, a little bit few and far between, because I feel like people either go one extreme or the other, or you get a distillery that goes for a 51% rye and the rest is corn or malted barley or something along those lines. So for rye whiskey, when I get a note like this, which is very heavy dry erase marker, you're getting a little bit of the caramel. It's burning the nose quite a bit. What's the proof on this? 50%, so 100 proof, obviously bottled in bond, nailed it. I'm getting a lot of dry erase marker. I'm getting the pepper. I'm getting the peppercorn. I'm getting the spiciness from the rye. But you're kind of getting like this kind of like burnt rye toast a little bit. There is a fresh fruit note to it, though, too, because I'm getting like this underlying fresh fruit of like a green apple or something that is giving me the sweetness to the nose, which I actually like. And it's throwing me through a loop, because initially I first thought that it was probably going to be on the 95 route. And I'm still probably there. It's definitely on the higher end of rye whiskey, I would assume. But I think that this is not from Kentucky. I would assume that this is from somewhere else out west. Again, I talk so much about how I can tell if something's from Kentucky. So the rest of this, I'm just going to be shooting myself in the foot every single time. Nose, honestly, I'm probably going to go, let's go B- on this. I think that this is an inviting nose. I do like that dry erase marker type rye note. It's something that you don't get a ton of because normally you just get blasted in the face with pepper and then it's the butterscotch, the oak, the typical kind of Kentucky notes. But with it being a higher rye, I get that dry erase marker, but then you're getting that green apple, fresh gala apple type apple juice concentrate note after that, which is an interesting note. I wonder if it's going to travel to the initial taste, but definitely going to go the B- on the nose. All right, initial taste. This is very alcohol forward. You can almost feel. Have you ever taken hand sanitizer on your hand? I hope you have. But ever taken hand sanitizer on your hand, and you rub it together to obviously like sanitize your hands, but then you can feel the evaporation coming off of your hand. That's exactly what I feel in my mouth with this product. You take a sip of it. It's sugary. You're getting a little bit of that apple. You're not getting a lot of rye. So I'm now kind of thinking that it's more in that like 70% rye range, but you're not getting a lot of that rye. But as soon as you start getting like, ooh, this is a good product, it just like poof, just vanishes from your mouth. It just evaporates. It's a very light product. It's not viscous. It's not staying in your mouth. It's not coating your entire mouth. It's honestly evaporating relatively quickly, which I'm kind of shocked. But you are getting some of that pepper, that rye bite. But as soon as you take a sip, your mouth feels the alcohol and then it evaporates. Honestly, like you're drinking pure out like a vodka. It's going away very quickly, which I'm not 100% sure on this. Now I'm going back to thinking it might not be. Maybe it is from Texas because you're thinking the evaporation. The evaporation would probably evaporate the water quicker than the alcohol. So I'm gonna go probably. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be like a Texas or something down there. I don't think it's Kentucky, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Kentucky because this taste is kind of flat and not very robust. Initial taste. I gotta get better. I gotta write this stuff down. Initial taste. I think I'm gonna go B- again. I don't think this is bad. It's just not, no, C+, because the evaporation and it kind of going away is making that initial taste good. Just kidding. Let's go B- initial taste, D ending note. I'm going D ending note because it evaporates so quickly. You can't really appreciate the ending note because your mouth is set on fire, basically, for lack of a better term, because of the alcohol. It's not a high proof product, but it acts like it. So it's coating your entire mouth with the burn from the alcohol, and then it's evaporating very quickly to where you can't even really enjoy that ending note. I would expect to taste some sort of like apple pie at the end, just based off of that nose. You can kind of get there, but that might be just because I said it. But yeah, you're almost kind of just like tasting ethanol and then a little bit of like a apple pie, like a crumbled apple pie dessert or something like that. Maybe I was a little too harsh on the ending note. Maybe I'll go. What did I say? D. I gotta start writing this stuff down. Maybe I'll go C- again for the ending note. It's not bad. It's just I feel like it leaves you wanting more because it's just not very full-bodied and it's not giving you everything that you probably wanted it to. I'm being very harsh today, so I apologize if anyone's really. I tried your favorite whiskey and now I'm shooting it down. Final rating, I will say, let's go 76 on this one. I don't mind this product. I think that it's decent. It does the job. Yeah, it does the job. If I were to guess, bottled in bonds you normally can't find for less than $45. it's got a decent taste to it, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's like $55 on the website. Again, I'm not looking at anything beforehand. I'm truly just talking to you. So I could be wrong on everything so far, but that's just kind of what I've been experiencing. Would I have this in my collection? I guess let's save that until after the price, because I normally always say, well, it depends on the price. Well, like, duh. If it was free, I would have it in my collection. But let's find some information on this. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned the seatbelt sign as we prepare for a refined descent in the eastern foothills of the Sierra Nevada mountains. Ooh. It is Nevada. God damn it, dude. You guys are seriously going to think that I am... Oh, RNO, Reno. What a loser. Now I figured it out. I truly did not know. You guys can tell me I'm wrong or whatever, but I truly did not know. I didn't look. So below lies a land nourished by pristine snow-fed waters, its soil tilled by generations of stewards who understand the delicate balance between the rugged and the beautiful. Here, the Frey family, makers of today's whiskey sample, has cultivated this historic terrain for 5 generations. Their bottled-in-bond straight rye whiskey, today's samples embody the untamed soul of Nevada and the distillery's grain-to-glass philosophy. The same hands that plant the grain, harvest the crop, and tend the soil also pour the spit into your glass. Relax and enjoy this remarkable destination where nature and human craftsmanship converge. Okay, so Frey Ranch, kind of called it, was in Kentucky. Bottled-in-bond straight rye whiskey, we already talked about that. Straight rye, made with 100% rye. Okay, interesting. 100% rye. So that means rye and then 5% malted rye, which makes sense. I did not get that, to be honest. I thought that because it lacked so much of that bodiness, that it was going to be less rye, but I guess that more attests to the fact that everything evaporates so much quicker in Nevada because of the desert heat, and it's a 4-year-old product because it has to be because of Bottled-in-Bond. So I don't know anything about this distillery. Again, I'm probably going to shoot myself in the foot, but I would assume, okay, so this is, I just read it, nailed it. I was going to say it seems to me like it's going to be a very young distillery, because if they're pushing out a Bottled-in-Bond product, that it probably means that their older stuff is either very expensive or hasn't matured enough yet. But it says here that, where is it? Since 1854, the Frey family has cared for this fertile valley. Okay, Colby, along with his co-founder and wife, Ashley, united innovation and heritage, culminating in the 2006 creation of Frey Ranch Whiskey Farm. So maybe that they started in 2006, which is 20 years now. I would think that they probably would have a better product out there. Again, I just think that based off of the proof point, based off of this particular product, I think it could have been a little bit more full-bodied in my opinion. But again, I don't think that this is a terrible product. 75 is not a bad rating. It's not a great rating, but it's not a bad rating by any stretch of the means. So this is a very delicious product. I do think that it's one to try. We'll see what the price is, but if I would have to guess, I'd probably still say like around $55 to $57 because I just don't think that would be worth more than that. So let's check. $58.99. If you're Flavier Black, it is $50.15. So $50.15. $58.99. I said like around $55. Would you have this in this Jesus? Would you have this in your collection? I gotta try this again. Yeah, I think I would, but not for the reason that you think I would. I would because it's a small distillery that is made in Nevada by using Nevada grains. And for that point alone, you don't see a lot of Nevada distilleries. You have Smoke Wagon and you probably have a couple others, but getting a Nevada distillery, to me, I like trying whiskey from other states. So knowing the backstory on it and knowing what it kind of stands for would make me buy it. But do I think this particular juice is worth $58.99 when there's other products out there for $55 that are pretty similar? I probably would have this in my collection. It's good for the price. It's a Bottled-in-Bond Rye whiskey. Sure, it doesn't knock my socks off, but I still think in general that it's a pretty decent product. So thank you for tuning in to today's whiskey review of Frey Ranch Bottled-In-Bond Straight Rye Whiskey. This is the Advent Calendar Day 8, and we are here ready for another review. Yeah! If you did drink this with us, we appreciate it so much. I keep saying us, even though my counterpart is not here, but I do appreciate you tuning in with us. If you did drink it, let me know in the comments down below what you think, and we will see you tomorrow. Please remember to always drink responsibly in person and don't litter. We're out.